The UK government has made £12.3 billion of grant funding available to help small and rural businesses and businesses in the retail, hospitality and leisure sectors in England to manage their cash flow. The government will also provide at least £1.5 billion to the devolved administrations for their response, enabling them to provide grants to businesses. In England, the funding is delivered through two grant funding schemes, the Small Business Grants Fund and the Retail, Leisure and Hospitality and Leisure Grants Fund. These were initially targeted towards businesses with premises who are ratepayers on a property in recognition of their ongoing fixed costs. On the 1st of May, government also announced a further up to £617 million discretionary grants fund for local authorities to support businesses that were previously outside the scope of the two schemes. Could I have the next slide, please? So the Small Business Grants Fund to start. This scheme supports small businesses in England that are in receipt of either small business rates relief or rural rates relief in the business rates system. These businesses are eligible for a cash grant of £10,000. Businesses in the scope of this scheme are those with a property that on 11th of March 2020 were eligible for Small Business Rates Relief Scheme, including those with a rateable value between £12,000 and £15,000, which received tapered relief, or relief under the Rural Rate Relief Scheme. I have the next slide. The second scheme is the Retail, Hospitality and Leisure Grants Fund. This scheme supports small businesses in England in receipt of the expanded retail discount, which also have a rateable value of less than £51,000. These businesses are eligible for cash grants of £10,000 or £25,000 per property. Next slide, please. So businesses, this scheme supports businesses in England, and those in the scope of the scheme are those that were eligible, again, on the 11th of March 2020 for a discount under the expanded retail discount scheme, and those with a rateable and also with a rateable value of less than £51,000. Businesses with a property that have a rateable value of up to and including £15,000 will receive a grant of £10,000. Those with a property with a rateable value of over £15,000 but less than £51,000 will receive a grant of £25,000. Businesses will receive one grant per eligible property. Next slide. Business grants top-up funding. So up to £617 million will be made available to local authorities in England to support small businesses with ongoing fixed property related costs that are not currently eligible for the two funds. This money has just been announced on the 1st of May, and we are asking local authorities to prioritise businesses in shared spaces, regular market traders, small charity properties and bed and breakfasts that pay council tax rather than business rates. Local authorities may choose to make payments to other businesses based on local economic need, and the allocation of funding will ultimately be at the discretion of local authorities. But businesses to qualify must be small with under 50 employees, and they must also be able to demonstrate that they have seen a significant drop of income due to coronavirus restriction measures. Next slide, please. So in terms of getting the grants out to businesses, local authorities are responsible for delivering the Small Business Grants Fund and the Retail, Hospitality and Leisure Grants Fund, and will be responsible for the new fund. So any immediate inquiries should be directed to the relevant district, borough or metropolitan local authority or unitary local authority that your business is within. As of the 3rd of May, a total of £8.6 billion had been paid out to over 697,000 business premises. But we want to get to 100%, and government is working closely with all local authorities to do this as quickly as possible. We know, however, that there are some businesses out there who local authorities are struggling to contact. So if you think you're eligible and haven't heard yet, then check your local authority's website and get in touch with them. For the top-up grant funding, each local authority will have their own process and will be in touch with businesses in due course with details. Next slide, please. So I'm just going to finish briefly to talk about the support within the devolved administrations. So in Scotland, retail, hospitality and leisure businesses can apply for a grant of up to £25,000. To apply, their rateable value needs to be between £18,001 and up to and including £51,000. Small businesses can apply for a grant of up to £10,000 if they get small business bonus scheme relief or rural relief. Please visit mygov.scot for further details. In Wales, retail, hospitality and leisure businesses can apply for a grant of up to £25,000. Their rateable value needs to be between £12,001 and £51,000. There is a £10,000 grant to all businesses eligible for small business rates relief in Wales with a rateable value of £12,000 or less. Please visit businesswales.gov.wales for more information. And finally, in Northern Ireland, the Northern Ireland Executive is providing one-off grant of £25,000 to eligible businesses that have a total net annual value of between £15,001 and £51,000 in retail, hospitality, tourism and leisure. They are also providing a one-off grant of £10,000 to businesses that are currently in receipt of small business rate relief. Please visit nidirect.gov.uk. Thank you. So I think we've got 3 questions that were very popular on the business support funds. One popular topic is about eligibility for grant funding for those businesses that occupy shared office space, and this is certainly something we've heard a lot in the first few weeks of the programme. Mo has asked, how can small businesses get access to the small business £10,000 grant if they're currently in serviced or managed offices? So as I explained earlier this week, the government has allocated additional funding to local authorities in England in the form of a discretionary grant fund of up to £617 million. This additional fund is aimed at small businesses with ongoing fixed property related costs, including those businesses in shared spaces. So local authorities are being asked to prioritise those businesses in shared spaces, as well as regular market traders, small charity properties that would otherwise meet the criteria for small business rates relief, and bed and breakfasts that pay council tax rather than business rates. Those businesses must be small, with under 50 employees, and they must also be able to demonstrate they've seen a drop of income due to the coronavirus. Local authorities may choose to make payments to other businesses in the area based on local level. Many of you are also asking how to access that discretionary fund. And Andy talks about government's announcement on Friday the 1st of May. How does he go about applying for the new scheme? So this funding, in the same way as the other 2 programmes, will be delivered through local authorities, and we are preparing guidance for them at the moment and in determining the exact amount that each area will receive. And we will work with those local authorities to make funding available as soon as possible. Details of the top-up are on gov.uk, but it is clear that local authorities may also choose to make payments to businesses that are based on local economic need. You can sign up for the coronavirus bulletin email to keep up to date with the latest announcements. And finally, there are some questions about applying to the existing grants funds. There is no central application process for these grant funds, and eligible businesses would typically be contacted by their local authority directly. But as I mentioned earlier, some local authorities are struggling to contact the sort of final businesses that they know are eligible, where they don't have perhaps up-to-date contact details or bank account details. So if you or a business that you know thinks that you should be eligible for these funds, for the first 2, the small business funds and the retail, leisure and hospitality grant funds, then please do get in touch with your local authority, and that would be the authority to which you pay your business rates. So that is Metropolitan Borough District and Unitary authorities. And all inquiries on the eligibility for and the provision of those grants should go in the first instance to your local authority. Thank you very much.